WhatsApp.
Yes. I'm not going to mention it.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Why are you not going to mention it?
Okay, 0550-585832. Lord always wants me to mention it, so I'm going to mention it for you guys. Yeah.
Exactly, and going right into our first topic, of course, if you're no stranger to the show, you would have probably been here when we discussed about the unfair and very sudden laying off of Twitter Africa staff. Now, if you don't know this, the Twitter Africa office is actually within Ghana, and as opposed to, you know, just letting them know that we're not doing this anymore, following the changes within the actual Twitter headquarters, as in Los Angeles, there's been a lot going on in Twitter Africa. So, unfortunately, 4 days after opening the official office, they were actually asked to walk out, their laptops were taken, and they were emailed via their private email addresses and told that their services were no longer needed.
Yeah.
Now, the Twitter staff are petitioning the Ghanaian government to compel Twitter to adhere to the laws of Ghana on redundancy because they did not get the 3-month notice. Instead, they got fired right then and there. And then obviously in comparison, in comparison to their global counterparts, that is various Twitter workers within the various countries, they weren't actually given very good severance payments or packages.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like it's a step in the right direction. It's good that they are taking legal action against the organization. Just that I really hope, you know, the laws are able to work in their favor, because it's very sad that you are sacked abruptly, like your contract is terminated abruptly, and then you are not giving your severance package. You can really see your other colleagues in other parts of the world receiving this package.
That hurts
you know,
it's
really,
just like even if that is the situation,
really
because we all know what's been going on with Twitter, especially after Elon Musk took over. But it'd be nice to be considered in the same way that, you know, their global counterparts are.
Exactly. And sometimes
treated like human beings, and especially when they're going back into unemployment, sudden unemployment, that is. So.
But you see, sometimes it's also dependent on like the contracts that you sign with the organization. Do you understand? Because sometimes some of these clauses are not put into this, or they are not added or included in the contract. So then somebody is sacked, and then that's it. They don't get anything. And in your contract, it was not stated there that, you know, if you are relieving of your duties, like immediately would give you this package and all of that. But if it's in their contract, they stand a chance to win. But if it is not, it becomes very difficult to prove all of these things, because then they will tell you, like, you signed this document, did you really read through it? And you know, we have a culture of not really reading through contract, like reading letter for, you know, word for word. We have a culture of not doing that. So I'm really excited, but I'm also, you know, low-key scared, you know, that some of these things might, you know, just cripple them and they might not get whatever they deserve. But,
but following this, they actually have a lawyer. And because they're petitioning the government, they're also chasing up upon this particular case. Of course, this is a video that explains everything and more.
So, Larry, here's how I understand it. The Twitter employees in Ghana simply want to be treated the same as Twitter employees in other parts of the world, just in terms of severance pay, but also with Twitter adhering to Ghana's local labor laws as well. Sounds perfectly reasonable. What has Twitter said to that?
That's the position of the Twitter employees, Zain, but that's not what Twitter is doing. So after we first reported about the employees of Twitter Africa getting terminated just 4 days after the office physically opened, they'd been working remotely before that. After that CNN reporting, they were offered severance pay. They were sent another email to their personal emails called Ghana Mutual Separation Agreement, and it purported to offer them just a random amount, according to a lot of them, which they considered well below what is required by law in Ghana, what other Twitter employees have been offered in the US and Europe, and they think that they're being treated differently from other Twitter employees, and that is why they rejected that offer and have hired a lawyer. This lawyer has now sent a demand letter to Twitter demanding that it follow the Ghanaian labor laws. But more importantly, these employees have also petitioned the chief labor officer in Ghana because, according to them, because all but one of the employees that work for Twitter Africa have been laid off, this constitutes what Ghanaian law describes as a mass redundancy. And in that case, there should have been at least a 3-month notice and a discussion about how they would mitigate the circumstances of this layoff to make sure nobody's left in the lurch. Like they say they have been left. Some of them moved from other countries like Nigeria to be in Ghana. And they say they don't even have a way to contact Twitter to plead their case or to find out the next steps. I want to read for you a section of this demand notice that's been sent to Twitter, but also has been included in this petition to Ghana's employment ministry. It says, "It is clear that Twitter Inc. under Mr. Elon Musk is either deliberately or recklessly flouting the laws of Ghana, is operating in bad faith and in a manner that seeks to silence and intimidate former employees into accepting any terms unilaterally thrown at them. Without pressure from higher authorities, they're clearly not willing to provide a fair or just package in order to minimize the hardship of this takeover and resulting loss of jobs on their workforce in Africa. They have until 4th December. That's when their contracts officially run out and they're no longer employees of Twitter. And in that time, they say they have not heard from anybody from Twitter except from these no-reply emails. And that mutual separation package they were offered appears to have now expired. They didn't realize that that was only available for a certain period of time.
Okay, so there you have it. Very nice, brief
they deserve
explanation of how Twitter Africa's employees are pursuing Twitter legally. Now that you've heard everything that we have to say about the situation, let's see what you're saying on the social interwebs. So, I cannot read that, so let's go. Citatina Masaka says we're entitled to free things and get furious if you don't get the free things. What does that mean?
God, like really?
Are you actually kidding me? Gina_Din says these bullying trends against Africans must stop, and I absolutely do agree, especially considering our current economic situation. Yeah, situation. Yomi_Ataf says these same Ghanaian folks that were already behaving like little gods this is a lot of hate. Okay. Doing Twitter blue badges to their friends in the media whilst refusing to verify long-established journalists with proven track records now see life. Okay, this is very
I feel like
specific.
they requested to be verified.
Yeah, they probably did request.
And they were
They're
declined.
like, can I please have a badge, please? Because I know people be doing that. You guys think we don't know, but we know you're on your knees for the blue badges.
We know, we see.
We see it all. Mr_Meji says, Elon Musk, I think it's unfair for people to be treated differently because they are Africans. If Twitter can adhere to the rules of termination of the USA and Europe, the same should be the case for Ghana.
I feel like it should be.
100%. Miss Ro Lou W says, Twitter is an American company subjected to American laws. Employees would have been appointed under those terms and conditions. Musk was clear on the eradication of bots, serves no purpose in AI, was clear on return to work, loyalty and ethics. Right.
I feel like that's it has some like
a little bit, yeah. Because if you're going to establish a company within a particular country, you have to follow their labor laws. That's the reason why you've been given permission in the first place. So regardless of what's happening in America, it would still be very refined for the Ghanaian experience,
very true.
Experience.
Very true. But also, if they are working like as remote, like in a remote setting.
They were working remotely.
Yeah, so then
up
that
until
would
the
mean
week that they were
so
laid
that
off.
would mean they will be under the American labor laws.
Is that? No,
that's what I'm saying. Like there's that angle to it as well. Because if I'm here and I'm working for, let's say,
I feel like once a company is established in the country, it's the labor laws.
Okay, but was it established as a as an international office? You know.
Most likely,
you get it, yeah. So that's like those are like the angles to it. Because if it was established as a like an international office on its own, then it would follow. But if it's like it's just a building, you are here, but then you are working under the international or the main office, then it's different.
I want to look up on that.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to. But I still feel like they still have to follow
it.
Ghanaian labor laws, regardless of anything, regardless of whether they're an international company anyway. Employment works differently. I think obviously employment works differently in various countries, and so if you're going to set up in a different country, best believe you have to adhere to their culture, their rules, and just a few of the things that they consider as. Are you just?
I like the way you did their culture, their rules.
Anyway, ladies and gents, as you can see, Echo is completely stunned by this beauty right here. But if you're wondering what has been facilitating it apart from my parents' genes, make sure you go over to Notes Cosmetics Ghana across all social media platforms. They're your plugs for cosmetics, health, and makeup brands. And of course, if you're wondering how you can be constantly updated with everything that's happening within the city in terms of business, sports, news, you name it, make sure you take out your phone, whip out your camera app, and then scan the barcode right there. And of course, subscribe to our channel, like, share, do everything you must to engage with the material that we're coughing up just for you. We'll catch you right after the break.
that God is speaking to us.
It's that time again. Impact 2022.
Today, we block the delays. We override the delays. We will celebrate the victory and the triumph. Put your cancel every delay tactics of the enemy on the account of the blood of Jesus.
Ministering Apostle Joshua Selman.
God does not speak sympathizing with your current situation. He speaks as touching your destiny.
Pastor Jerry Eze.
I command the power of delay be broken. Let your amen thunder louder.
Reverend Eastwood Anaba.
The time has come for you to stop playing religion and take your destiny in your hand.
Bishop Gregory Toussaint.
Spiritual warfare is first of all a lifestyle. You fight Satan primarily by the way that you live.
Dr. David Enchi. Apostle Francina Norman, Prophet Victor Kusibuate, Prophet Ajiman Prempe, introducing Minister Jonathan Rubain. 8 days and 8 nights of power and impact, including a prayer breakfast on Saturday, December 3rd at the Prayer Mountain with Apostle Joshua Selman. Visit linktr.ee/actionch for transportation, registration, and prayer breakfast tickets. Impact 2022, bridging the gap.
GoTV Kaweni so enjoy all 64 games live on GoTV. Get your Go Coder and Plus at 89 Ghana cities. GoTV, love it.
And
Welcome
we're
back.
live.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering which channel this is.
This is Citi TV.
Exactly, over there.
And what show it is?
Exactly.
It is what?
30 minutes.
Oh my God.
We should probably join the City Choir. I feel like we'd absolutely kick ass there.
Yeah, I feel like we should.
We'll
we should
take
have
the
a
lead
duet.
parts, you know.
Yeah.
We'll
Miss
just-
Jen, if you're
we'll-
watching us, we're coming to the City Choir with a duet.
Okay, Echo's coming to the choir
Me,
because she's
myself
going
and
to chase
Lourdes.
up.
Like me and
No,
Lourdes.
no, I don't
We're coming
sing.
with a duet.
I don't sing.
And you don't sing, but we just sang.
I mean, yeah, to entertain the 30 minions.
Because we love you so much.
But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering what show this is, we obviously sang it because within that specific time frame, we literally chit-chat about everything that you're talking about on the digital interwebs. Of course, we want you to be a part of the conversation, so make sure you message us with the hashtag 30 minutes.
Yes. And also
Now,
send us a message on our
yes.
WhatsApp lines on 0550-5858-32. Okay, story number 2.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
I
the
feel like when
newest.
is this guy never in the news, you know?
And at this point, I feel like he enjoys it when he's in the news. You
No,
know? Like
he
enjoys
definitely
it.
gets a kick from it.
Yeah,
100%.
he enjoys it. I feel like that's his rush. That's his energy rush.
When you think
Makes you
attention
feel good.
seeking, you usually think babies. But when you think attention seeking, there's babies and then there's Kanye West.
No, they are big babies.
Yes, they're very big babies. He's the biggest.
Yeah, he's the biggest baby
Actually,
of all time.
he
Of all
is.
time.
And Mr.
No, I feel
Ye or
like-
Mr.
I
West.
feel like Trump is bigger than him.
True.
Trump is a bigger baby.
Maybe it's an American thing, you know. Like, they love PR, good PR and everything.
Yeah,
and,
let me
you
stay
know,
in the media for long. But there you have
Exactly.
him.
There you have it. Mr.
Mr.
West
Ye.
is telling us that he is no longer selling his Yeezy.
For, was it $300?
Yes.
$500, $600.
Bits and pieces of his Yeezy apparel, yes.
Man.
No longer for more than $100, but actually he's bringing it down all the way to $20 because he wants everyone to be able to afford quality clothes.
Exactly.
Now, this is very rich coming from someone whose entire brand was luxury wear, and so most luxury wear, as everybody knows, goes at least beyond, let me say $200.
$200, yeah,
$200. Let me say $200. I feel like $100 is like a good, if you have a good deal.
So $150.
But like maybe like $200 up.
$200, $300
is like proper in terms of sportswear or streetwear, which Kanye reps. So those are racks and racks of clothing, which apparently are now going for $20. Formerly, Yeezy Gap was estimated for $970 million until, you know, the entire contract was scrapped. Kanye no longer was doing the deal with them.
I really find it really strikes deep when like I go back to think about how all of these happened. You know, like just control yourself. Like, you know, just I'll say this and nobody can do anything to me. And then you say it and everybody does something to you, and then it makes you feel like, wow, was I very, very intelligent in doing that?
Makes it very hard to, you know, separate the man from the art. But of course, let us not do all the talking because Mr. Ye would like to do it himself. Here's a video.
Like, so what we do here is I'll cut up, you know, 100 hoodies from Yeezy, from Balenciaga, from the stuff we did at Gap, from the stuff we did at Adidas, and everything we do is going to cost $20. We need to make sure that everyone can receive the same level of cuts, the same level of food, same level of water, same level of education, the curriculum, the engineering. We're beings with engineering opportunities. We're getting past the past. We're focused on the future.
Right.
Here. I'll walk you out. Oh, wait a second. We got some of the drip coming in.
All right. New stuff, Kanye?
What'd you say?
Those are new?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I know this is the oversized. Like, you wear oversized?
Yeah.
Here, take this.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kanye.
Take another one. Here.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, Kanye.
Absolutely. It's Jay, bro. It's Jay.
Yay.
You can call me Kanye. Everyone has just
Sorry again. Yeah, we're too used to it.
It's going to take us a while to update, right?
Yeah.
But this is the update. We are to update. That's all we need to do. As a species, we need to update together. Everything's been so divisive. Think about when they say diversity. People look at that like it's a good thing, but we're the United States of America. We're a universe. We're a university. We're a republic.
It's Ye, babes. It's Ye.
It's Ye, guys.
Yeah,
Not to
Ye.
be confused for Kanye.
Do you know, I think he should get a bell like they do it in Makola. He should get a bell and then put it in like somewhere in Times Square.
Just be
in
rolling
front of
on the
somebody's
streets.
shop in Times Square.
And then just be...
And there's $20.
Actually, that would, and Times Square is really packed, so he'd actually, those would sell out like in a minute.
Like it would just...
They'd go.
You see the
I'm
way he
also
does it out?
confused as to how he wants people to afford affordable clothes. Does he just want people in general or the less fortunate? Because obviously his followers will try and find out where they could get the clothes for.
Exactly.
And
I feel
most
like
of the people are quite
and I feel like
upper class.
he has too many stock or too much stock that he wants to just get rid of them, because now if it's going to sit there, nobody's going to buy them. They're not going to be in shops.
Do you know what I think?
Stores.
I think it's just to avenge himself from all those companies that let him go. He's like, this is what I can do with what I can do. He's just trying to, you know.
Let me just say sorry. A nice way of saying sorry. Yeah. By the way, this is all we've had to say about it. Let's hear what you guys will be saying about it on social media. ZK Spear says, it was sold for cheap, but not bought for cheap. Balenciaga ain't cheap. He's literally just trying to keep his brand alive and getting Balenciaga in everyone's hands. Smart move. That could be. That could be. That could be. That could be.
Okay, if you're wondering what to add to your watch list apart from the World Cup, that is, make sure you stick to your screens, because on the 7th of December, we're back with the Hairdresser reruns. It's showing every Wednesday for 7:30 p.m. And of course, whilst you're at it, make sure you add Dress for Morning, which shows every Thursday and every Friday at 9 p.m. and 7 p.m. respectfully. And of course, if you miss it, the repeats run for Saturday and Sunday at 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. for Saturday, and on Sundays at 5 p.m. And of course, your weekends will never be the same.
Of course, and Solutions for African Problems, Startup Africa, VO and Citi TV co-production, showing every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. and repeats on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. and 1 o'clock p.m. respectively. Make sure you just see this and enjoy it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this show has been kicking as usual, but we actually have to go. Don't fret, because we'll be back here tomorrow, same time. My name is Lourdes Alexandra Opong. You can find me on Twitter at @HelloLourdes_.
Yeah, my name is Eko Kumsi. You can find me on all social media platforms at PK_. Let me wish a happy birthday to you, Mrs. Lydia Owen of Labone Secondary School. Happy 50th. We love you. Cheers.
Hello, welcome to Class Hack, your virtual classroom on Citi TV. This is the best platform for you to learn from the comfort of your home, at your own pace with no stress at all. My name is Joe Dugan, and I'm very excited to come your way with another episode of Class Hack. At this point, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to pick your phone and call or send a simple text message to your friend who you know would also benefit from this particular lesson. That's time for Class Facts, so they should therefore tune in. I'll tell you what I have for you in this episode after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In the past few weeks, we've considered all
health. The M-Mama Maternal Health Initiative is an innovative emergency transportation system initiative designed to significantly reduce maternal and newborn mortality in Ghana. This project connects women and newborns facing obstetric and postnatal emergencies with quick and efficient access to appropriate healthcare facilities through mobile technology. By activating a special USSD shortcode on a mobile phone, the mother or newborn are instantly connected to special commercial and private community drivers who are on standby to provide emergency transportation to the nearest health facility for the required medical attention. Dream Lab is a specialist app that is speeding up research in cancer and coronavirus treatment, utilizing the processing power of smartphones at night. The app, developed by Vodafone Foundation Australia, uses the processing power of smartphones to help analyze complex data while their owners are asleep. The platform, which is a collaboration with scientists at Imperial College London, currently has over 250,000 smartphones running overnight with over 1 million downloads and is available worldwide.
The Vodafone Healthline Medical Call Center is manned by a team of doctors specially trained to provide medical advice and consultation on diverse health issues to the general public via telephone conversations or other digital meeting tools. Callers on any network can access the center every day by dialing the short code 255 to speak to a doctor to assist with consultation and healthcare.
Health First Mass Community Health Screening. The Vodafone Ghana Foundation Health First initiative offers periodic health screening exercises for rural and urban communities across the country. With the aid of qualified medical doctors and nurses, Health First provides free medical screening, consultation, and medication for citizens across the country. This initiative is further complemented by Ultrasound Scan Project, which is conducted every other month across rural communities. Vodafone Homecoming Nationwide Hospital Bill Settlement Initiative. Vodafone Homecoming is another benevolent initiative championed by Vodafone Ghana Foundation. Here, the foundation pays the medical bills of insolvent patients who are unable to go home due to these unpaid bills. The foundation settles these bills for treated patients across the country and goes further to reunite the beneficiaries with their families, connecting for good.
Welcome back. In the past few weeks, we've considered all that you need to know on electrical energy. Today, I want us to take a trip to the virtual laboratory so that we will be able to identify and verify some of the things we spoke of during our theory sessions. I hope you are very much ready. I will need you to get your pen or pencil, your ruler, and then your notebook ready so that you'll be able to draw some tables for me. But before then, let's look at the main objectives for this lesson. By the end of the lesson, you would be able to 1. Study the voltage of cells connected in series and parallel and the effect on a bulb. 2. To understand and verify the Ohm's law. And finally, you'll be able to verify which bulb would produce brighter light if it was placed in a circuit in cells, with cells in series or parallel. Before we get into the practicals, I want you to draw the table. There will be 2 tables. This is the very first one. I want you to draw this. So it's a table with 3 columns and 4 rows. First column with number of cells in series, then you label 1, 2, 3. Then you have second column with voltage, into bracket volt. You have your third column with bulb, into bracket brightness. We would use this table to record some of the values on connection of cells in series. So I want you to draw it. After the whole experiment, we'll come back and discuss them. Then you compare your values with mine also. I'm sure you are done. Let's go to the second table. This also has 3 columns. First column with number of cells in parallel. Second column with voltage, into brackets volt, and third column bulb, into brackets brightness. Under the number of cells in parallel, you have 1, 2, 3. I'm sure you are done now. Good. Now let's go to our virtual lab. You're welcome to our virtual lab. We are going to do all that we said using our construction kit. Now, this is to help us understand all that we've said regarding how balls behave and cells behave when they are connected in series and parallel. And then we'll move on to a different setup to verify our Ohm's law. Then after that, we'll come back and do our discussion. So we are going to start with our connections of cells in series. Before we get into the main setup, I want to show you the main things we'll be using for this particular practical lesson. I'll be using connecting wire. Let me show you the values. We'll be using a battery which is 9 volt rated. Be using light bulb with an internal resistance of 10 ohms. I will use also the switch or key with negligible internal resistance. We'll be using the voltage also, the voltmeter for measuring our voltage. And then this is our ammeter, which would use to take our current. These are the raw life forms. Now, if you need the schematic ones, that is the diagrams or the symbols you see in your examinations and then in your textbooks, we get something like this. Good. All right, so now that we've seen all that we'll be using for this particular experiment and practical, let's start it. So the first is to look at how connections of cells in series influences the brightness of the bulb. So I'll start with a single cell. Let me show the values again, which is 9 volt rated. Okay, so we have our very first setup. You realize that I have a single cell connected. I'll start with 1, I'll increase it to 2 and 3. So I'm going to connect this by closing my key. I want you to do something. Observe the brightness of the bulb when the cell is 1. Okay? And record. Good, so the circuit has been closed now. That is to allow the flow of electric current. I want us to check the brightness of the bulb as well as take the voltage. So I'm using my voltmeter to take the voltage. Kindly record this. Record your observation regarding the brightness of the bulb when the cell is 1 and the voltage as well in the table you first drew. I'm sure you are done. Let's go to the next thing. I'm going to increase the number of cells to 2. After increasing, I would want you to also observe the brightness of the bulb, of the light bulb. And then we'll also take the voltage across it, moving across it. So I'm going to increase it by closing the circuit. Okay. So look at the brightness of the bulb, of the light bulb, when the number of cells got increased to 2. Can you see any difference? I'm sure you can. Let's look at the new voltage. So look at your voltage being recorded by your voltmeter. I'm sure you have recorded that also. Good. Now let's take the third one. I'm going to add the third cell to this. That one as well. I want you to observe the brightness of the bulb. I'm sure you can already imagine what would happen regarding the brightness of the bulb after I have added the third cell to it. Okay. I'm going to close it. Look at the brightness of the bulb now. What can you observe? Has the brightness decreased or the brightness has increased? I want you to note that in your table. How about the voltage? Are we going to record a lower voltage or a higher voltage? Let me connect my voltmeter. Good. So this is the new voltage when the number of cells connected in series are 3. Now we say a cell or cells are connected in series when the negative terminal of the cell is connected to the positive terminal of the cell. So in this case, since we have 3 different cells, you have the negative terminals connected to the positive terminal of the other. Now, why did we see this particular change? I'll tell you when we get into the discussion segment. Now that you have seen what happens when cells are connected in series, in terms of the effect on the brightness of the bulb, I want us to look at what will happen if we connect the cells in parallel this time round and the effect on the brightness of the bulb. Okay, so we have the parts being connected. Now I want us to check some readings here. So in this case, I have a single cell that is connected to our light bulb. I want you to observe the brightness of the light. Now, I'll use my voltmeter to check or take the reading of the voltage flowing across our load, which is our light bulb. I hope you can see the readings. So record that in the second table under cell 1. Record your observations in terms of your voltage and the brightness of the bulb. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to increase the number of cells to 2 with the same reading. All right, then we also observe what will happen. So the second one has been connected. After connecting, have you noticed any difference in the brightness of the light bulb? Write your observation there. I won't tell you what I can observe or what I have observed. How about the voltage? Our voltmeter has been connected. Do you see any change in terms of the voltage of the cell or the voltage flowing through the light bulb? Can you see any change in terms of the value recorded on our voltmeter? Write what you see. Now I'm going to connect the final cell or battery to our circuit. So the final one has been connected. Let me take it up a bit. Good. Now the final one has been connected. Look at the brightness of the light bulb again. Do you see any difference? Okay. How about the voltage? I'm going to connect my voltmeter to the load. Record the voltage that you see recorded on the voltmeter. I hope you have recorded them. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to break the path of flow, all right, of current in one of the main junctions. Then we observe what will happen, whether the light bulb will continue to produce light or it would affect the flow of current. So I'm going to do it here. Good. So I have disconnected one cell here. You realize that it hasn't affected the ability of the light bulb to produce light. Neither has it affected the readings of the voltage on the voltmeter as well. Do you know why? I'll tell you when we get to the discussion segment. What if I also disconnect the very first one on top? The same thing. There's no change in the reading of the voltage on our voltmeter, and there's no change in terms of the brightness of the light bulb as well. Now, we all know that electric current or electrons move from the negative terminal to the positive terminal, as we can see here. How about the conventional current? How does it move? Let me show you the movement of the conventional current, which will appear in red. So you can currently see the flow of the direction of conventional current. Now, conventional current moves from the positive terminal through to the negative terminal. So this is one advantage of using the simulations on our construction kits in this particular practical. Good. So we have seen what happens when we connect cells in series and its impact on the brightness of the bulb, of the light bulb. We've also seen the effect on the brightness of the light bulb and the overall voltage as well. We have seen same in case of connections of cells in parallel. Now I want us to move on to our third practical work. In this particular case, I am going to connect some light bulbs in series. Alright, when I do, after I'm done, I would also connect some light bulbs in parallel as well. Then we look at the effect of such connections on the overall brightness of the light bulb. So I'm going to start with connections of light bulbs in series. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to start off here. Alright, so look at the brightness of the light bulb. Can you see it? Good. How about the voltage flowing through this? So I'm connecting my voltmeter to read the voltage. And that is 27 volts. Good. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to increase the number of light bulbs to 2. After connecting, I want you to observe the brightness of the light bulb, as well as the new voltage readings. So you can clearly see here that the brightness has reduced. How about the voltage? So I'm going to measure the voltage flowing across a single battery, a single bulb. So the voltage here is 13.5. Now you realize that the 3 cells connected in series will give us total voltage of 27 volts. Now when 2 go connected in series as well, the readings changed, because you have the 2 cells, we have the 2 bulbs sharing the total voltage produced by the cells. Now I'm going to increase it to 3. When I increase it to 3, look at the brightness as well as the reading of the voltage. So you realize that the brightness has been affected. It has been reduced. Do you know why? Now, we all know that when resistors are connected in series, okay, the overall resistance increases. Now, this particular light bulbs we see here are very identical, and they all have the same resistance being recorded in here. So in effect, with 3 bulbs connected in series, we are talking about, with each having 10 ohms, we are talking about 30 ohms of resistance being provided by this particular part. Now, we all know from Ohm's law that when you increase the resistance and you maintain the voltage, the current would reduce. So that is what has happened here. There's less flow of electric current moving through this particular circuit, and that is why it has influenced or affected the brightness of the light bulb. If I should increase it, if I should read, you realize that each bulb would have 9 volts flowing across or through it, and that is all that we need to know. What if I increased, or what if I connected the bulbs in parallel? What would happen? Let's look at that also. So I'm going to connect the same number of cells, which is 3, and this time around I'll connect my bulbs in parallel. I'll connect my bulbs in parallel. Okay, so I am done with my construction. The first one is a cell, the light bulb being connected with 3 different cells. Now I'm going to show you the values of the readings. Good. So you realize that there are 3 different cells. There are 3 different cells with 9 volts rated each. Okay, so you put them together, you realize that they are 27 volts using to power this single light bulb. I'm going to read the voltage flowing across this light bulb. Good. There you have 27 volts. What if I increase the number of light bulbs to 2? Is that going to influence the brightness of the light bulb? And is that also going to influence the voltage flowing across it? So I'm going to do that. I want you to observe. Good. So you realize that the brightness of the light bulb of the very first one has not changed. It hasn't changed. And the second one has also come with its own brightness. What if I increase this to 3? I'm going to do that. I'm going to increase it to 3. Then we check or verify that one also. Whoa. So you realize that the brightness is still the same, it is constant. Now I'm going to take the voltages flowing across each of the light bulbs. So the first one we recorded to have 27 volts. The second one also has 27 volts. Let's look at the third one. The third one also has 27 volts. Now there is no change in the brightness of the bulbs. This is because both bulbs, okay, are directly connected to this particular cells here. Good. Providing 27 volts to power each of them. Now you realize that the same current is flowing through all of them. So let me use my ammeter to read the current flowing through this light bulb. 2.7 ampere is flowing through this. How about this light bulb? 2.7 ampere. I told you 2.7 ampere is also flowing through this particular light bulb. Good. And that is the reason why you see this. Also, you realize that the voltage across each of the light bulb is the same amount of current. All right. And this is because all the bulbs have the same internal resistance. Good. So by the two, looking at the two, in terms of connection of light bulbs in series and parallel, we can have two different conclusions. The first one is that whenever you connect multiple light bulbs in parallel, the brightness would be the same because the current flowing through each of the resistor is the same, but the total current being drawn from the battery increases when the bulbs was only one as it was. Now in our homes, we have these particular kind of connections in our homes where our appliances are connected in parallel, because when there's a fault in one of them, nothing happens to the operation of the other ones. So let's look at this. I'm going to disconnect the very one on top. Yes, this one. Let's look at what happens. So I have disconnected it. You realize that the second and the third one are still in operation. So this is one of the main advantages of connecting bulbs in parallel. In the case of series, when you do that and one path or any portion of the connection gets defaulted, all the bulbs will stop working. So we have seen all that we need to know regarding connections of cells and bulbs in series and parallel. I want us to look at one thing, which is our Ohm's law. Okay, so this particular setup is to help us verify Ohm's law. Do you remember what the Ohm's law states? What does it state? Good. I hope you said that Ohm's law states that the voltage or the potential difference moving across an ideal conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, provided temperature remains constant. Good. So that is Ohm's law. Now, the most basic part of an electrical circuit has to do with the resistance, the voltage or potential difference, and the current. Now, Ohm's law helps us to understand how these three are related. So the German physicist Georg Simon Ohms put together this law. So in this particular setup, we are going to use this to verify. What this means is that from this particular law, the voltage is directly proportional to the current. It means that when the voltage is increased twofold, the current will also be increased twofold. The second conclusion we can make from that particular law is that the resistance is inversely proportional to the current. It means that if you increase the resistance twofold, the current will also be reduced the same amount of volts. So let's first verify them. So you have your current reading here and you have your voltage reading here. Now when the voltage is 4.5 volts, look at the reading of the current. It is 9. I'm going to increase the voltage now. You remember we said they are directly proportional. So let's look at the reading of the current. I'm taking the voltage to 6. Good. So when the voltage is at 6 volts, you realize that the current increases to 12 milliampere. What if I increase it further to 8? So when I increase it to 7.9, it increases to 15.8 as well. Now I'm going to verify that of the resistance. I'm going to increase the resistance, then we look at the reading of the current. So, good. You realize that whenever I increase the resistance, the current reading also drops. So this is all with the Ohm's law, that voltage is directly proportional to the current, and resistance is inversely proportional to the current. Great. So we are done with our very lab work. I want us to look at some of the key points that came out from this particular practical, looking at the discussion segment. So we are done with all that we need to know regarding Ohm's law. We've seen that whenever you increase the current, the voltage also increases as well. Whenever the resistance increases, the current also reduces because it is inversely proportional. My name is Joel Dugan, and I'll see you same time next week. Have a wonderful day.
What's cooking?
We're cooking tuozafi and ayoyo stew.
Why are you the one going to cook it?
I'll be in the kitchen with you, so technically and legally, I would be held liable for positive and negative. So I'm cooking.
Whatever. Welcome to What's Cooking right here on Citi TV. My name is Apioko, and today I'm here with Umaru Sanda Amadu, host extraordinaire of Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, host plenipotentiary of Face to Face on Citi TV, brilliant anchor on the Citi Newsroom, CNR, every Monday to Friday.
8 p.m. to Sunday, actually. It's 8 p.m.
He shows up and he cleans up nicely every now and then. But yes, so today we're cooking. But we're going for a break. And when we return, you see, I can't trust Sanda alone with this TZ thing. You know, it's a very delicate meal. It's very complicated. So we need to bring his lawyer. And when we return, you see who that person is. Welcome back. This is still What's Cooking on Citi TV. My name is Apioko, and I'm still here with Umaru Sanda Amadu. If you just joined us, he's going to be cooking tuozafi and ayoyo soup. Is that right?
Yeah.
But he's not doing it alone because he can't. I maintain that you cannot.
That's debatable, but I'll share the debate.
So, without, much ado, let's welcome the Mrs.
Bilkis, no, she is my attorney, lawyer, and everything when it comes to this work. So,
hi.
Now, hand over.
Welcome, sis.
Can we hug on your set while cooking?
No, please. She just bounced you. So this is Umaru Sanda's lovely wife. She's the one who keeps him in check at home and everywhere else, I'm sure.
In life.
In life. Yes, she's the one who makes him maintain what people would say is handsomeness. And she's the one who's going to help him cook today. Does he cook to Zafi at all? Can he cook it?
Which answer should I give? Can we consult before
he said that he can cook.
Can we consult before she gives the answer?
No. He said he can cook. That's what he said before you came.
I think I can cook. I mean, I can cook hot water. I can cook.
Your wife is doing the job of a wife. She's protecting
I can cook tea. I can cook soakings and all of those things.
So please expose yourself.
Yeah, and I can also cook dessert every night.
Lucas, welcome to What's Cooking. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you in the kitchen, and I know you do a lot of activism. You're a journalist as well, right? Yeah.
So let's just do the cooking.
Yeah. She's running away, but yes.
Let's do more of the cooking and then.
So what are we making today? He says Tozafi and Ayosu, but I know you probably have a better explanation as to what we're doing. So please run us through.
Okay, so we're going to prepare Tozafi, which most people prefer to as TZ. Then we'll prepare Ayoyo. Then we'll have some stew to go with. So we have wagashi with us, and we have Madie, and then those are the intestines. And then
goat intestines or cow?
It's cow.
Okay.
So we have all these, and then we hope to prepare some great meal for the family.
Okay, I trust you, not him, but I trust you.
I'll give moral support.
Okay, so where do we start? So let's run through the ingredients. I see, again, this is What's Cooking. So if you haven't learned it yet, Scotch bonnet peppers and petit bell pepper. Then we have red onions. They're local red onions. Okay, and our ayoyo.
Yeah, we have ayoyo.
Good. That's there. And then intestines.
Intestines. And then this is the corn flour.
Okay.
But then mostly when they go to the market, you look for gari masara.
Gari masara. That's
gari
what
masara.
Okay.
And this is the kokonte.
Okay.
So
we're combining the two.
If we are combining the two.
Okay. So dawa, the African locust bean. That's there. That's what it's called.
Okay.
African locust bean. Okay. Dawa. We love it. Tasty. And then that's kawe.
And that's kawa. Okay. Yeah, that will be used to prepare the ayoyo.
Okay.
That's salt
We got salt bitter. Good. You understand? You speak broth. No English.
Then we have the ginger and then the garlic, which will be used to steam the meat.
Okay. Okay. Tomatoes for the stew. Is that tomato paste?
Yeah, that's tomato paste.
Okay. All right.
Salt.
And then salt. And this is what kind of oil? Normal vegetable oil?
Just normal vegetable oil.
Okay. So let's get cooking. Where do we start? What do we need?
We start with the pot going on fire. So let's get some water.
Okay.
So we just, since we have extra heads for the gas, we'll just go ahead and then start preparing the soup and then the stew.
Okay. Are you putting on the big one?
On the big one.
Okay, the big one. This is your kitchen, but I think I can figure it out. Okay, there we go. All right, so should I cover it?
Yes, please.
Okay. How have I been doing this gentleman's work for him? So we're going to cut, so we need some cutting boards.
Yes, please. So we cut the onions.
So what are we blending? Onions?
So I'm putting together the onion, the ginger, and then a little bit of garlic.
Okay, how many onions?
Just one.
Okay, one bulb, okay.
One bulb.
Okay, so it doesn't need to be too smooth.
Yeah, the blender is actually a good one. So
okay, so it didn't take long.
Very smooth. It didn't take long.
Bilkis, I mean, you've cleaned the intestines mostly, but let's see how you do it. So and you were saying something about depending on where you buy.
You know, we have butchers who sell from the market, and then we have some of the meat, fresh meat, and we buy some of these from the cold store. Yeah. So when you get them from the cold store, mostly insides are like this, and then you'll have to be able to remove them so that they will be cleaner for you to be able to use. So I'm trying to remove the inside. So
why does it need to be cleaner?
Because it's not good enough. Okay. You have to make sure it's very neat.
Okay.
So I just put some kanwa inside, and then we'll put.
So you're adding the kanwa to the water.
To the water.
Okay, just what, 2 pieces.
2 pieces. Okay. So whilst he washes them, and then so we'll put some of the dawa, pepper, onion, everything should be inside, and then I don't want to put more than enough so that it doesn't. What's the English word?
it doesn't become not too thick.
Okay.
Sort of.
Okay.
So
it shouldn't be too thick. It shouldn't be too light.
Too light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you break it and put it in.
Yes, because when I'm going to blend them, I wouldn't want a situation whereby if it's not well broken, I have to over blend the ayoyo, and I wouldn't want that happening. So
There you go.
Yeah.
This is so cute. Okay. So are we putting all inside?
Yeah, we're putting everything inside.
This whole thing will be reduced to something very small after it boils. It's just that it's fresh leaves, so they look plenty.
Whilst we are at this, then we start preparing the paste for the tool. Okay. And then add salt and shrimp paste.
Okay.
More, yeah.
Okay, so we need the onions. These are the slices.
Just like
you're adding some to the onions.
So once it's ready, it will mean that I wouldn't have to add anything to it. Okay. I'll just go ahead and then blend it, and then I'll add salt and salt to taste.
Okay. No long thing.
No long thing.
Let me check on the water for you.
Okay. And now
the water for the tool is boiling.
Yes. Okay. So Sandra will just go ahead and then prepare the paste for us.
Okay. So we take the coconut flour.
No, not coconut. So we're not